Well, hi, hello, and a warm welcome to this video where I'm going to be sharing a full debrief on my recent Artists Open Studios. Yes, if this is something you are at all interested in as an artist, either for now or for the future, then you want to watch this video. I've done a little series where I've talked about whether Open Studio is a great strategy for you or not. I've talked about marketing it, top tips for preparing it, and now, post Artists Open Studio, what's left to do? A full debrief. Yeah, I'm going to be sharing what worked, what didn't work, and the conclusions I've drawn. So make sure you stay right to the end to get all the nitty-gritty details, and make sure that you can also learn from any mistakes that we've made in order to make your Open Studio the very, very best. So my name's Sophie Mahir, and I help artists make a living from their art or creativity by building a stable, profitable business doing what they love every day. And if you'd like more tips and tricks on exactly how to build that profitable art business, then you're in the right place, because on this channel, that's exactly what I do. I put out each week, I put out a new video, whether that's marketing stuff, business planning, organization, different types of strategies, social media, time management, finances, sales, whatever it is, we're going to cover it on this channel. So make sure that you subscribe, hit the bell to get notified every single time I post a new video, which, by the way, is usually on a Wednesday. All right, let's do this. Let's go ahead and dive into my Artists Open Studios debrief. Now, before I get into those, I should just let you know what the event was. So it was part of the Mundaring Hills Open Studios here in the Perth Hills in WA. And that's typically 2 weekends, and you have the option to open between Monday and Friday. I'm going to give some feedback on what we did and why I wouldn't necessarily recommend following that strategy. All right, so we've literally packed down on Sunday. It's a couple of days later, and as you can imagine, there's still a few things lying around the house. Not everything's found its place yet, and we still look a little bit like a gallery. But okay, let's go ahead and do the full debrief on this event. Okay, so the first thing we're talking about is what went well, because obviously we want to start listing out all the good points. Now, there are so many of those that I've actually got my iPad here in front of me to remind me to make sure I don't miss any out. So first off, I would say I picked a fabulous guest artist. And you know, when you put any type of exhibition together, it doesn't matter whether it's your own open studio or whether you've hired a space or you've hired a gallery, having somebody to complement your work, I've always found super helpful. Now, here's the little extra tip here. I have fairly well-priced large originals on the walls. Not everyone's going to be in a position to purchase those. So what's the obvious complement for me? Somebody who has a smaller product with a higher turnover rate. So I picked my fabulous friend, Jenny Merritt, who's a glass artist, has her own beautiful glass bead jewelry and little home decor items. And they flew out of the door. All right, so that gave a lot of people something to look at. So she was also brilliant in terms of marketing, in terms of setting up, in terms of being there every single day for every minute while we were open. I couldn't have wished for a better person to do an exhibition with. We also complemented our work. She actually created a special collection that went in with my artwork. Fabulous guest or fabulous guest? All right, so that was number one, what went really, really well. So number two was being part of an established trail. So as I said at the beginning, I'm effectively launching myself here or relaunching myself here. Nobody knows me from Adam, all right? So being part of an established trail is really, really useful to get your name out there. Okay. We also, and please don't think you have to do this for a minute, but we use this excuse to actually complete some internal and external decorations on the house. Because I work from a really small studio, it's not very exciting to send a lot of people into. We opened up the bottom layer of the house. So we did some wall painting, exterior painting, sweeping up, clearing, cleaning, throwing things out, emptying the carport. You get the idea. So my partner was fully involved and very excited to have that deadline. We had to get it done. You know, the holes that needed filling and the new door that had gone in but nobody'd come to do the seal. All those things we used the deadline of the Open Studios to get them done. So everything looked kind of fresh and new. And like I say, don't feel you have to do that, but that really worked for us. Okay, next up was actually my partner was completely involved, and I'm really, really lucky, but this really worked for me. So we have a big house and it's a big area, and he got really involved in helping, not just with the cleaning, organising, all the decorating, but he also got up and down the ladder with the power drill and put all the holes in the wall to hang the pictures. And that was just super lovely to have the support of somebody. So that worked really, really well. The next thing obviously is we got the artwork on the walls 2, maybe 3 weeks out, so that there was time to look at it, move it around, really think about where it would hang best. I also had Jenny come over and we discussed exactly where she was going to position all her jewellery stands so that we knew how the exhibition was going to look. And so on the day before, when she came to set up, she just came, set up, job done. All right, super, super easy. Now, if you want to watch the other video that I have, top tips on how I got prepared, then make sure to check that out, because I talk there about hanging the work well in advance, as well as many other tips. Now, the next thing that was a huge hit was I put a catalogue together. Now, I haven't always done that, but I thought it would be a good idea to do it this time, because not only are people, they have something to walk around with, for my work anyway, that was on the walls, but also if they wanted, they could take it away. So what was in this catalogue? Full listing of my work, the sizes, the media and the price. But not only that, I had all my socials, then I had print information, and I had links and information for my print on demand shops, Society 6 and Redbubble. So that if people liked the work, or they got home and thought, I really liked that picture, oh, I didn't realise I could have it on a cushion, or I could order a print. So there was lots of actions they could do, and there was also information on how to get on the mailing list. So it was like a little mini book. Yes, it took a little while, and I'm extremely lucky, obviously, that I have my business partner who could do that bit for me, but you could easily outsource that. I still had to put the list together, right? So that was just super wonderful, and everybody commented on it. They were really, really happy to have this thing and amazed, oh my goodness me, could I take it? So I probably printed, how many did I print? Probably about 250, and I've been left with about 10. So, I mean, a lot of people will put them back, but a lot of people took them too, which was great. All right, so that really, really worked. The next thing is we had a private view. Now, in everything I've done, I've always had a private view. Even though I didn't have a list to send the private view invites to, I mailed them out to as many of my friends or art friends or anybody I knew in Perth, and I made a full postcard and mailed that out, because there's nothing more lovely than to get a postcard through the mail, all right? Lots of people actually complimented me on it, sent a little message saying, got your postcard, it's on my fridge. You know, we're all sick of emails. Yeah, we send the emails, we back it up, but go the extra mile. Get the postcard made, send it out, right? Now I have a list of interested people. They will get the postcard and a little letter next time mailed out to them. All right, next up, okay, we really utilised Instagram stories and reels. And there was a while I felt like I was really making reels pretty much every day. Check out this video if you're not sure how to make your Instagram reel. Everything I did, I made little video footage of, and I put the reels up, and they were super popular, and they gave everyone a sneak peek of, here we were decorating, the decorators were in, up and down, and then people were intrigued, well, what next? Well, they went away, we would start putting the exhibition up, etc., etc. You can watch those. There's some on my Sophie Mahir account and some on my Sophie Mahir art account over on Instagram. Links to those accounts are below this video. So the next thing that I did that I really always love to do is incentivize people to get on the mailing list. So I had a limited edition print made. I should have it, it's actually over there, but it's about that size. And I had the print of the main image that I used for the exhibition. So it went in the brochure, went on the publicity, etc., etc. So I had a print made, 12 by 12 print mounted, at my cost, made and that was available for people to put their name and email address and go in a draw. And then yesterday I went live on Instagram, had all the names in a bucket and pulled one out. And actually the lady turns out to just live over the hill. She's super excited and she's going to become picking that up in the next 24 hours. She said, I never win anything. So not only have I made her day, but I've also grown my mailing list. So super great strategy. Worked really well. Okay, the next thing, we put a lot of signage around the house. So arrows, here's the way in. And I know that when I go to other people's, sometimes you turn up at the venue and it's assumed that you know where to walk. Where's the studio? Where do I go? Now we had arrows from the gate, arrows, enter this way. We had a board with an arrow. There was only one way they could follow. And then there was a welcome to the Open Studios notice on the table. And an instruction to take the catalogue in case I wasn't there to welcome people. And then we sent them, a bit like IKEA, somebody said, we sent them round the house in a specific order so that they saw everything. And there were arrows, and an exit on the exit door. They came in one door and exited out the other. So they saw everything. Lots of people commented on it. They loved it. It worked really well. The next thing is, taking time for talking and engaging with people. Have you ever been to an event where the artist is sitting reading a book in a corner? That was not our event. So we were either just hovering outside welcoming people in, or we were inside the house having left the sign so that people knew where to go and how to start. And we maneuvered around the house and made sure that we touched a point with everybody. We spoke to everybody. So even though when the house was fairly full of people, we at least said hello and welcome if they had any questions, etc., etc. So talking and engaging was fantastic. And we had lots of feedback from people saying they loved being able to talk to the artist, find out how we did what we did. Okay. The marketing, of course, went really well. Both of us did our good fair share of marketing, not just on social media, but with emails as well. And even when you're getting to that point where you think, oh my goodness me, there aren't the hours in the day, we still got some things out there and we kept it going. The Instagram was going, the Facebook was going, it was going right up until, I even went live on my personal Facebook at the private view for people back in England who just wanted to see what was going on, and particularly my beautiful daughter to watch from there as well. So that worked really well. We had great visitors because I think the knock-on effect of getting the brochures out into really high quality places, and again places where the target market are likely to be. Now if this is something you struggle with and you're not even sure who your target market are, check out that video here because I talk about who they are and how to get in front of them. I helped the trail to make sure that as many of those brochures as possible went to places that our target market were likely to be. I also had a flyer put down myself and distributed down through the city and on the waterfront because I do waterfront types of paintings, all right? So we did that. I think that worked pretty well from what I can gather. We had really good sales and commissions. So overall, the conversion rate on visitors to sales was about 40% of visitors were converted into customers. Pretty good going, all right? How did we achieve that? Between the two of us, we had something for sale from actually, I put down here from $19 to $4,000, but actually I had cards at $5. So I'm thinking I should change that from $5 to $4,000 and everything in between. So there was something for everybody. I had cards, I had also some cushions, bags and notebooks from my product store that was really easy. Of course, Jenny had her jewelry and her pieces, but again, price points from low, medium to high. And then I had artworks reaching up to $4,000. So we really had something for everybody. Really take note. If you really want to make sales, you've got to make sure that you can make it accessible for everybody. So people walked out with something and they felt like they'd really enjoyed it, participated, and even if they didn't purchase, they had cards, business cards, and of course my catalogue to take away as well. All right, what didn't work so well, I hear you say. All right, the number one thing that didn't work very well was we didn't get in any extra helpers on those days. And so therefore, when I said it was, we had a touch point with everybody, I definitely suffered, because on the first weekend I decided to take on the role of welcoming people, but then realized I wasn't talking to anybody. So we ditched that on weekend 2, and we used the signage. So I think it's really important to enlist somebody to do the welcome. And actually next time round, I would find somebody and pay them to stand there, welcome, give the spiel, so that people knew where they should go, where to find us, if they had any questions, here was the catalogue, etc., etc. Wandering fly coming through. All right, so that really was pretty exhausting, and I think on the first weekend that definitely didn't do me any favours, standing outside, welcoming everybody, and then wasn't inside. So that was the first thing, but we learned and we rectified that. The next thing is I put myself open for Wednesday, to have another day in the middle of the week to be open, and all the other 4 days to be available by appointment to be open. Huge mistake. Why? We were totally exhausted by that Monday. I was actually in bed, floored on the Monday. I couldn't move. And luckily nobody had rung to make an appointment. But Wednesday we were open to the public. Thursday we had a bus load and some other people through. Friday I had last minute people texting, could I come? And I had the cleaner coming in and cleaning. So it was all pretty exhausting. So we kind of got into the last weekend feeling, not as bubbly as we could have been if we'd perhaps just gone, do you know what, we're going to be closed during the rest of the week. So I wouldn't do that again. I didn't have the energy. I'm also using my home, not a separate studio. Maybe if you've got a studio outside your house and people are just coming to that, then maybe opening during the week or by appointment is fine. But for us, they were coming in through our kitchen, they were going down into the lounge, split level, back through the dining room and upstairs to my studio. So a whole ground floor and a little bit of upstairs had to look free of dog hair, free of dogs. They had to be out the back. So there are all these little things that you have to kind of allow for when you're doing this sort of thing. Okay. What also didn't work so well, as I said, for me was total exhaustion. And I still had the other business to run in the week, and a lot of things didn't get done. The email didn't go out, other things didn't get done, and so that didn't work so well for me. And that was opening those on those days. That's it really, I think, for the didn't work so well. We couldn't really think of anything else. I mean, we really put a lot of energy, effort and planning into it. So overall, it was a massive success. So what are our conclusions and tips and takeaways for you right now? Well, I still think this is the perfect way to launch if you're a new artist. We got fantastic feedback. We've got a book full of comments. As the people I was able to talk to, I found out which images they liked, which ones became the most popular. So there were 2 or 3 that were talked about all the time, and there were a couple that were never mentioned. And those were the ones that I thought would be the most popular. So it's very interesting. And here's the thing, I really wanted to have prints available, but I didn't want the outlay without knowing which pictures were going to be popular. So now I have the information for the next event, I'll have prints available. Okay, so my ideal audience also is by the sea. So we're up in the hills, and I knew that to begin with, and I'm totally okay with that. But for the next exhibition, I will be taking my work down to where my audience is. So just note to self, if you know and you do it consciously, then it's fine. I didn't sort of do it thinking, oh, I hope my audience will come all the way up here. I knew that they wouldn't. And so I was absolutely fine and made that conscious decision. So now I've got some information, some stats and data. I'm now going down to the city for the next show. Do you see how that works? It all comes down to strategy. This is a great launch strategy, as I've said before. Okay, I went into profit. It's my first official event here in Perth. I had a couple of sort of small semi-events, but I was right on the edge of my chronic fatigue journey and was not really well enough to do either of them. So this is what I would say my first official event, and I went into good profit. So that means that I have now money aside to invest in the next exhibition. All right. So there's an event in October that I'll be putting into that will take a fair chunk of the profit, but it's fine because we have it sitting there now. So now we can go to the next event. And this is really how I want you to think. All right, you want to do an event, make some money, take that money, reinvest it, do the next event, and so you move forwards. All right, as I said, I got great feedback. And I also made some sales. So I have my first clients here in WA and first people to invite along to that next private viewing, right? Exciting times. Okay, we've also of course got people to go on the mailing list. So the mailing list grew, the social media grew, the mailing list grew, a little customer list has started, and it's all good, really. For the amount of work we put in, that's a great first result. Okay, if you've loved this content and you're thinking, how do I get my art business to that sort of space where I'm launching and then I'm putting money aside and I'm going to the next show and the next show and I'm building things and I'm growing my business and I'm, heading to that place where you can perhaps leave that job or go full time. If you like the support and learning that goes with that, we are getting ready to open the doors to our Art Business Academy. This will be opening in June this year. So at time of filming, we're just at the end of March. So we've just got a month to go. We'll be opening those doors. You can get on the waiting list. There's a link below this video that will take you to get on the waiting list so that when we start announcing it, you can get an email first, just letting you know what it's about, what it entails, how it works. It's a monthly membership and it helps you to support growing that stable, profitable business and doing so in a community with other artists and of course getting help from myself along the way. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed the debrief. Do let me know in the comments below what the takeaway was for you, anything you've learned, sort of things that you are going to do in an event that you will have coming up, etc., etc. And of course, if you're doing open studio somewhere, even if you're doing virtual open studio, do let me know in the comments below as I'd love to hear from you. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.